Sharks are big and frightening. Some are even bigger than usual, which makes them much scarier. Once you see just how big they can grow, you may never want to swim again. From the biggest shark ever spotted near a popular tourist spot that even shocked Jeremy Wade, here are the 20 largest monster sharks recently caught on camera. Number 20. California's 1,300-pound mako shark. The culmination for a crew of shark fishermen from Huntington Beach, California, USA, is the grisly sight of a massive 1,300-pound mako shark bound by its tail. Around 20 days a year, these guys get together to go shark fishing, and occasionally not only do they get lucky, but the shark does as well. Once upon a time in 2013, they set out on a boat ride off the coast of California. They dusted the water with what they termed their secret sauce, a mixture of chopped mackerel and ground chum that attracts sharks. It tastes great. A potential client expressed interest really fast. In search of morsels, a gigantic mako shark was circling. The fishermen would subsequently set a hook and spend 2.5 hours grappling with the enormous beast to get it into the boat. The captain of the ship, Johnston, later remarked that it was the most terrifying thing he had ever done. Still, you have to consider the shark's reaction. Number 19. Greg Norman's massive hammerhead catch. Famous golfer Greg Norman also happened to flaunt the fact that he's decent at fishing when he went fishing off the coast of Florida. Josh Jorgensen of the Blacktip H channel featured Norman in this video. The film documents Norman's fishing excursion outside of Palm Beach County, during which he caught an enormous fish. While out on Norman's personal 41-foot boat, the two managed to get this incredible shot from the drone's vantage point. It depicts a massive hammerhead shark pursuing a little blacktip shark. Actually, they were angling to capture that blacktip when out of nowhere the hammerhead swooped in and swooped over the smaller shark. It went around and swallowed the blacktip. This enormous hammerhead shark, which weighed more than 1,200 pounds and measured 14 feet 7 inches, was caught by the fishermen. They made sure it was all right by keeping it up next to the boat, and then they let it go again. There is a good chance that this hammerhead may have broken records as well, given that the biggest ever caught weighed 1,300 pounds. Number 18. The world's biggest tiger shark mystery. Even though tiger sharks are more commonly used for catching, they're actually not that terrifying despite appearances. It's not terrifying. Sometimes people are hunting huge tiger sharks for sport fishing or even vengeance, or they catch one by mistake. The tiger shark, one of the most dangerous marine animals, is second in the world only to the terrifying great white shark when it comes to the number of people killed by shark attacks. They're probably going to get kill orders for all the times they target surfers in Australian seas. Although they prey primarily on fish, they are known to attack sharks as well. Modern humans have gone to extreme lengths, such as trophy hunting and fishing, to bring these animals to the brink of extinction. It's no surprise that these powerful animals are enraged by humans and would rip your limb off at the sight of you. Fishing records show that some of the largest tiger sharks ever caught measured 5 meters in length. Legend has it that a fisherman going by the name of Matthew captured a huge tiger shark off the coast of Byron Bay, and the story goes on from there with some ludicrous details. An entire internet audience was amused when he was ensnared by a shark in 2015 while vacationing in Australia. While pulling in a smaller hammerhead shark, the man asserted that he had caught the toothy whopper as it devoured it whole. It is a really suspicious story. Number 17. Pakistan's 40-foot whale shark. Even though whale sharks are formidable marine creatures, the enormous specimen that a group of Pakistani fishermen captured in the Arabian Sea is an incredibly huge specimen. The whale shark was already dead when the fishermen brought it back to Karachi, Pakistan. This enormous haul, which was 40 feet long, was breathtaking. The enormous corpse was lowered onto the beach as soon as it arrived at the harbor in order to show it off to the astounded onlookers before selling it for meat. It's intriguing and unsettling all at the same time. You better not fire up your tugboat and try to reel in one of these magnificent, seldom-seen whale sharks since they are actually a protected species. Number 16. The 500-year-old Greenland shark. Slow-moving Greenland sharks are rarely captured on camera, and this is because they are more at home in the frigid deep seas of the Arctic and North Atlantic. These sharks are less likely to attack humans on boats than their warmer water counterparts, but these giants are out of this world. The Greenland shark, first and foremost, is enormous. Amazingly, these beings are capable of reaching a length of 24 feet. Of the ocean dwellers, these creatures can reach a weight of 3,100 pounds. Their sizes dwarf those of all the sharks we've seen thus far, including the largest great whites. Even though it primarily feeds on fish, the Greenland shark, an apex predator, will occasionally snag a seal, moose, or polar bear. The tremendous length of time this shark can live is one of its most remarkable features. Their life expectancy ranges from 300 to 500 years, making it the longest of any vertebrate. What a mind-blowing find! In 2016, Researchers studying this species found a shark that was born between 1504 and 1744. There is a shark in the ocean that may have been born while Michelangelo was creating the Sistine Chapel. It's understandable that sharks move at such a leisurely pace. After all, they possess an infinite supply of time. Now it's time for today's topic. In May 2026, tourists visiting Waikiki Beach accidentally captured footage that stunned marine experts around the world. College student Emily Carter was filming friends swimming in shallow water when an enormous dark shape appeared just yards behind a lone swimmer. Witnesses initially believed it was a small boat moving beneath the surface, but drone footage later revealed a gigantic shark estimated at nearly 30 feet long slowly cruising close to shore. Lifeguards immediately cleared the beach as the animal disappeared into deeper water within seconds. The footage quickly went viral after being analyzed by marine researchers from University of Hawaii Marine Biology Department. Even television biologist Jeremy Wade reportedly described the shark's eyes as deeply abnormal, fueling speculation that an undocumented giant predator may still exist in Pacific waters. Number 15. Sydney Harbour's 450-pound bull shark. In 2015, we were back in Sydney Harbour with fisherman Damon Smith, who had an unexpected catch. It appears he did in fact reel in this enormous bull shark. I mean, how much is it worth to spend nearly 2 hours heaving and reeling just to catch a big shark, even if it's strange? I don't know what I'm doing. Regardless, he ended up appearing on the evening news alongside his 450-pound, 10-foot-long monster fish. According to Damon, it was the largest shark he had ever seen. He claimed he was afraid the shark would devour the boat and that sharks in general weren't meant to be fished. But it didn't, and they brought the gigantic marine beast back to land. According to Damon, the harbor's waters have been significantly cleaner recently, and the arrival of the shark is a positive indicator of that. The authorities, on the other hand, weren't too thrilled about it because it meant that the shark nets meant to keep dangerous animals away from beaches were really filled with holes that sharks could easily swim through. Further, he said that protecting sharks from shoreline deployment of shark nets was not their intended purpose. Number 14. The 4-meter bull shark record. The majority of people are familiar with the concept of great white sharks, and if you value your limbs, you should steer clear of them at all costs. According to the facts, however, you should probably be aware that the majority of shark attacks on humans are actually carried out by bull sharks. In addition to this, they are also referred to as Zambezi sharks because of the frequency with which they appear in the Zambezi River to consume food. 2009 was the year that a survey of these terrible monsters was conducted in the Breed estuary of South Africa, and it was during this study that the largest ever caught and measured was a staggering 4 meters. The length of the enormous female that was measured after tagging and recording the information about this bull shark, the study team subsequently sent her to the Department of Defense of the United States of America. The information on this bull shark was recorded by the study team, and then she was tagged before being released once more. From that point on, the behavior of the shark was observed for the subsequent couple of days, and the things that they found out would be quite terrifying. Although the shark did venture out to sea for a short period of time, she spent the majority of her time aimlessly pursuing the boats on the river and the fishermen on the shore, all the while keeping an eye out for a snack or two along the way. If you look closely, you'll notice that all of those limbs and legs resemble cartoon hams. Although it appears that she was collecting notes on the most recent dining hotspots along the estuary, it is quite likely that she was not doing so for the sole purpose of writing a helpful guidebook to the area. Number 13. The enormous sleeper shark mystery. One of those tales about huge fish is up next. The original release of this footage cast doubt on its veracity. It was said to have been shot by a group of Japanese marine scientists in the Mariana Trench, the lowest known location in the ocean, approximately 1 mile below the surface. With the exception of the time it became clear that perhaps the location wasn't even used for filming. Maybe Suruga Bay in Japan was the real location. The result is the same regardless of the cause. A massive shark that is unexpectedly bathed in sunlight seems to be the subject. Although it's not particularly large, this shark is enormous. It is enormously large. Keep in mind, first and foremost, that it was really lit up before vanishing into the night. It has all the hallmarks of a horror film and is exceedingly unsettling. No one knows for sure, but estimates put the sleeper shark size at 23 feet. But then again, nobody knows for sure. Number 12. Queen of the Ocean, the 13-foot shark with bite wounds. Being bitten by a predator that is even larger than you is a very unfortunate turn of events, especially when you are a giant shark that measures 13 feet in length. Scientists were conducting research off the coast of Nova Scotia when they came across this large shark. Before releasing the animal back into the water, they were able to tag it and record a comprehensive list of information that was related to the species. This was accomplished after they had taken the creature out to the ocean. A large wound on the shark's head, which the researchers referred to as VME, was caused by a bite from another shark. According to the scientists, it will most likely be another male shark that is engaged in a struggle over a female, or it might even be the female shark herself who is protesting Vimi's attempts to mate with her. They went on to say that the mating process of sharks is typically rather aggressive and frequently results in many bites, the majority of which are done to the head. There is one thing that is certain: whatever it was that bit the shark, it had to be quite substantial in order to accommodate Vimi's considerable bulk inside of its mouth. Number 11. The frozen 21-foot great white in a freezer. And now let's take a look at a very unusual tale involving a gigantic great white shark. This one, though, isn't in the middle of nowhere or making a scene on the beach like the others we've seen today. A huge white shark has become entangled in a man's freezer. This is the chilling tale of a shark hunter with 30 years of experience and the prehistoric fish he caught. This enormous great white shark was captured by Vic Hislop in 1988 in the waters off the coast of Hervey Bay in Queensland, Australia. Apparently, he had reeled in a trophy fish, and he was so pleased with it that he went home and put it in the freezer. So after reeling in such enormous hauls, what exactly do these prize hunters do with their hauls? Vic spent 30 years constructing a gigantic refrigerated trailer in his backyard to house the monstrosity because, well, it was too huge for a standard freezer. After that, he got tired of it and tried to sell it for $30,000. The standard procedure. Number 10. The rare 16-foot megamouth shark. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but not all sharks are basically the same type of big mouth horror. That is not the case, though. There's this one shark species that has jaws so gaping and horrible that you might never sleep again after seeing it. Thankfully, this huge marine beast is uncommon, despite how terrible it is. Actually, since its discovery, the monstrous beast has been seen less than 100 times. The fact that these megamouth sharks inhabit deep water is one reason why we humans are so frightened of them. Nonetheless, every now and then they do manage to get entangled in fishing gear, as this particular one did a few miles off the shore of Aoshima Port in Japan's Mie Prefecture, smack dab in the center of a mainland area. We can all appreciate it more precisely and have more horrific dreams because the fishermen recorded the insane catch. The enormous beast was probably about 16.5 feet in length, and they're not sure they can tackle it. About 1,000 pounds right there. You had a very disturbing nightmare. Number 9. The controversial 3,427-pound great white record. Introducing a new contender to Alf Dean's long-standing big fishing record. However, this record is surrounded by controversy and is challenged as a real record in certain circles due to laws of fair play and technicalities. So for a lot of people, the best record is the one from 1959, and this one isn't even close. What happened? Let's figure it out. Captain Frank Mundus was the name of this sea dog, and legend has it that he was the model for Jaws' Captain Quint. However, the veracity of such an accolade is generally slightly questionable. According to legend, in 1986, Mundus and another man named Donnie Braddock caught a great white shark weighing 3,427 pounds with a 150-pound test line for the shark to be able to swim through water. This would wipe out all previous records. It was crucial that all details be precisely as they should have been in order for the shark to be able to swim through the water, but that was not the case. At the time of their supposed encounter, the shark was apparently eating a dead whale, and Braddock had initially used a hook to capture it. Since these two things were in violation of the record rules set out by the International Game Fish Association, they would theoretically render any record attempt null and void. The lads clearly weren't being fair, then. Now I know there are many who were pleased to accept that this was the largest rod and reel capture ever, but the whole hook and dead whale thing just puts a damper on it, doesn't it? Number 8. Florida's 15-foot goblin shark. In 2014, Florida shrimp fishermen in the Gulf of Mexico were the ones who were successful in capturing a goblin shark. This was only the second time in history that a sighting of one of these sharks, which are seldom sighted in these waters, had ever been documented. Furthermore, there is no doubt that they were taken aback when they witnessed it as well. When they made their unexpected capture, the group of fishermen were fishing in the Gulf of Mexico, which is located off the coast of Key West, underwater at a depth of 2,000 feet. The creature, which measured 15 feet in length, surfaced in a net that was full of prawns. The shark was then returned to its natural habitat, which is the depths, once it had been lifted up and released. A terrifying combo of terrifying alien looks and being squished up in the water, the goblin shark is a creature that lives in the deep sea. After being released, the shark was returned to the depths where it belonged. One of the most terrifying looking dinosaur sharks is the goblin shark. It is absolutely horrifying. Exactly how terrifying do these individuals appear to be? This shark appears to be capable of engaging in some predatory behavior, as it possesses a long snout on its upper jaw and a set of teeth that are quite sharp on its lower jaw. The manner in which it captures its prey is somewhat peculiar. For the purpose of capturing the passing prey, The goblin shark has the ability to eject its jaws and send them out in a deadly and snapping manner. Once it has done so, it will just bring its jaw back in and scoff at the catch. How scary is that? Compared to a great number of other sharks, this particular long-nosed shark is thankfully a lot more lazy. As a result of its lethargic behavior, it is not likely to burn a great deal of energy in a high-speed pursuit. Furthermore, if you were to take a look at this crazy fish, there is little doubt that you would be able to outswim it. Number 7. Hawaii's deep blue great white encounter. Seeing a great white shark, often known as deep blue, would normally make most of us want to swim away screaming for cover. But one lucky woman couldn't believe her luck when she encountered the massive and world-renowned shark. This shark is quite the acrobat and knows her way around. Anyway, a marine researcher by the name of Ocean Ramsey had a miraculous encounter with the ancient sea goddess off the coast of Hawaii. The experience left her speechless and overwhelmed with delight. She's courageous. Anyone, on the other hand, would be gasping for air, probably from the panicked dashes to escape. Great whites are sometimes misunderstood, though. Ramsey said she has spent all day swimming around humans without consuming any of them. Based on her extensive experience studying shark behavior, she has seldom observed them making a mistake with their diet. Now it's hard to tell how comforting that is. People aren't always the target of great white sharks' appetites. The majority of the time when a shark bites, it's only to gag you into thinking you're tasty. It seems sharks don't enjoy human flesh very much, but a small nibble from a shark probably won't be enough to make you go to bed with the fishes. Anyhow. Number 6. Australia's 26-foot basking shark. The sheer size of this shark prompted many to wonder, with some reasonable doubt, if it was a megalodon. That is one massive shark, though I highly doubt it will ever be seen again. Such creatures have gone extinct. According to some estimates, an adult megalodon might have measured up to 30 feet in length, solidifying its reputation as the largest shark species in history. Still, there are many who believe the megalodon to have been 80 feet in length. No such thing was this shark that a trawler inadvertently grabbed off the coast of Portland in southeastern Australia. Despite its size, it poses no threat. The basking shark is the second largest species of shark that still lives today. Even while they don't seem like a miracle artifact from a distant past, their 26-foot length is nonetheless astounding. Number 5. Texas scientists' record-breaking hammerhead. Even though he had been fishing in the Gulf of Mexico for 20 years, this local scientist and fisherman from Texas had never caught anything quite like this. With the help of his companions, he set a new record for the state of Texas with the enormous hammerhead shark they caught while fishing under the moonlight. I can almost feel the romance. The extraordinary hammerhead shark is renowned for its remarkable sense of hearing and its capacity to detect electrical fields produced by its prey. Despite its fantastical appearance, its keen sense of timing allows it to anticipate when its favorite meal, the stingray, will be available. So far, there have been 0 fatalities and 17 unprovoked attacks on people by hammerheads. In all the recorded incidents of this kind, you won't be eaten by these sharks. They're actually rather preoccupied with seeking and devouring stingrays. Number 4. Florida's 13-foot hammerhead shark catch. A few years ago, the daily catch of Florida fishermen became the nightly news. In the waters off Florida's Sanibel Island, the fortunate men had an encounter with an incredible hammerhead shark measuring 13 feet in length. The 3 men recorded their incredible capture as they subdued the shark enough to get a good look at its catch. The fishermen had been casting their lines in the Gulf of Mexico baited with stingrays in the hopes of reeling in a large hammerhead. However, they were astounded by their good fortune when they discovered they had caught a massive shark. The men wrestled the majestic monster for over half an hour to bring it closer to the shore, as the hammerhead trapped on the line was approximately 200 yards out to sea. Once they had their breathtaking images, they returned the shark to the water. Their unprecedented up-close encounter with this magnificent creature left them speechless, and the sheer might of the enormous shark left them in awe. It's clear that the shark isn't overjoyed about the unanticipated beach outing. Number 3. The big-eye thresher shark off Florida Keys. Its strange appearance makes you wonder whether this is some kind of alien life form. That being said, it isn't actually extraterrestrial. It was apprehended in the waters near the Florida Keys. Observing the ledge from a distance may pique the interest of a Mustafa Zema. Captain Nick is an experienced fisherman who leads enthusiastic groups on productive swordfish fishing expeditions. He has the potential to catch and release more swordfish than anyone else in the world, making him the greatest at what he does. Even the person who knows how to catch large stuff would be taken back when, after a 2.5-hour wrestling session, a team actually reeled in a gigantic big-eye thresher shark, not a swordfish. The fight reportedly pushed both the crew and their equipment to the limit as the massive shark kept diving back into the darkness below. Every time they thought the animal was tiring out, it surged away again with incredible force. When the shark finally surfaced near the boat, its enormous eyes immediately caught everyone's attention. In the dim ocean light, the creature looked almost unreal, with its long tail and strange proportions giving it an almost prehistoric appearance. The crew gathered carefully around the shark, stunned by the sheer size and unusual look of the animal they had brought up from the depths. For many on board, it was the kind of encounter that transforms an ordinary fishing trip into a story remembered for a lifetime. These mesmerizing creatures can hunt in the dark at night and in low light at depths in the ocean because of their enormous eyes. The big-eye thresher shark is known to take peculiar selfies, which resulted in a really unusual Instagram picture from the entire boat that day. Even in the dim light, the shark looked wild, so it was clearly for Instagram. Number 2. Sixgill shark attacks submarine. Underwater footage shot by an OceanX trip would show a huge, terrifying shark swimming into the sub and briefly biting the spear. The shark is a Sixgill species with a blunt beak. These prehistoric animals have a fossilized ancestry that dates back more than 180 million years. They estimate that this oceanic beast is among the world's biggest sharks. Despite their elusiveness, legend has claimed that these monsters can reach a weight of over a ton and a length of over 16 feet. As the massive shark emerged from the darkness, the crew inside the submersible reportedly fell silent for several seconds. The animal moved slowly but confidently, circling the lights of the vehicle before coming dangerously close. Its pale eyes and broad head gave it an ancient appearance unlike most sharks people are familiar with. When it suddenly lunged toward the spear, the impact startled everyone watching the live footage. The encounter highlighted just how little humans truly know about the predators living in the deep ocean. For researchers, moments like this are both thrilling and unsettling because these sharks spend most of their lives hidden far below the surface. A single litter of blunt-nosed Sixgill sharks can contain up to 80 pups, and the births are live. Worldwide, sharks are the most well-known and popular shark species, and they also happen to be the biggest. Although these sharks will consume any and all marine detritus, they are not averse to attacking fish when presented with an opportunity. They spend much of their time underwater. Their typical depth of residence is 650 to 3,300 feet, while some have been found as deep as 5,000 feet. Beyond that, there is a severe lack of information regarding this species. In order to have a better understanding of their habits and behaviors, researchers are hoping to discover a technique to tag a few of them. Number 1. The prehistoric shark footage from Pakistan. While we don't mind small silverbacks, we do not like them. A little silverback is something we avoid at all costs. However, this narrative is so incredibly ridiculous that it leaves even us scratching our heads. Pakistani footage appears to depict what some have described as a massive, long-extinct shark from more than 20 million years ago. The blurry footage spread rapidly online, with viewers replaying the clip frame by frame, trying to identify the creature. In the video, the enormous animal appears to move slowly beneath the water before briefly revealing part of its massive body near the surface. Fishermen nearby can be heard shouting in confusion as they struggle to understand what they are seeing. Some claimed the creature's size far exceeded that of a normal great white shark, fueling even more speculation. Social media quickly became flooded with dramatic theories suggesting prehistoric predators might still survive in unexplored depths of the ocean. Marine enthusiasts and skeptics clashed online, debating whether the footage showed an oversized shark, clever editing, or something genuinely unusual. The mystery surrounding the clip only intensified because no clear explanation immediately emerged from experts. For a brief moment, the possibility of an ancient ocean giant surviving into the modern age captured the imagination of millions around the world. We occasionally find ourselves taken aback by creatures that we believed had disappeared. What about 20 million years, then? Don't you think that's rather ridiculous? Many initially assumed it was a great white, and they were likely correct. The rest of the globe, however, regarded it as fantastic. Everything started circulating like wildfire, and here we are mired in ancient mythology. They've even gone ahead and claimed it to be Megalodon's progenitor. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.